Guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I don't normally do this, but I wanted to do a quick movie review. And the movie in question is, of course, Mad Max Fury Road. I'm assuming you read the title of this video before clicking on it. So, first and foremost, I want to preface this video by saying wow, asshole. See? And it's good I'm doing it in my car, because it feels like its own version of Mad Max. So anyway, I wanted to preface this video by saying I'm a really big fan of the Mad Max series. The Road Warrior is one of my favorite films. I really liked the first Mad Max and the third one, but the Road Warrior I feel was like its peak. So I really wasn't sure what to expect going into this. It got some good reviews. I went on Saturday, which was I guess the day after it opened, in the afternoon with Beth and a couple of my friends, Mike and Stephanie. And it was great. It was great. I'm not going to say it was perfect, because there are a couple little things about it that I didn't love, but overall, I would say an easy 8, probably more like a 9. The main plot of the story, but not to spoil anything, is there's this, like, kind of warlord, I guess you would call him, named Immortan Joe. He, which I didn't find out until afterwards, is played by the same guy who plays Toe Cutter from the original Mad Max movie. Spoiler alert, Toe Cutter dies in the first Mad Max. If you haven't seen it by now, I don't really care. It's from, like, what is it, from the 70s or the early 80s or something? So, I think it's the early 80s, actually. So, if at this point you didn't know Toe Cutter, the bad guy in the original Mad Max, died, sorry. They used the same actor, but he has a mask on throughout the whole film. So, it's not the same character, it's just the same actor. And, he's like a warlord, but there is like religious elements to it, where he has this massive group of like young men who wear like white body paint and shave their heads. They're called the War Boys, and they go out and they just, you know, kill people for him and do whatever the hell he wants. They're kind of like at his beck and call, and they're all talking about Valhalla and like dying for the cause. Like, you know, they know like they're going on suicidal type missions and stuff like that. And he has these women that are obviously, well, not obviously, but much younger than him, that he calls his wives or his breeders, and they run away. And they run away with Charlize Theron's character, who is Imperator, I'm pronouncing it wrong, Furiosa. And she is like one of the high-ranking kind of like soldiers for Immortan Joe. And she takes these breeders, these wives, and tries to get them out of the Citadel and get them to safety to a place she knows. That's the gist of the story. Max gets wrapped up into it because he is... actually, do I want to tell you why he gets wrapped up to it? Nah. Anyway, he gets wrapped up into it. I don't want to tell you because that's kind of a cool part. And he gets wrapped up into it, and they kind of start off as like a very uneasy truce. And then it turns into a you know, partnership. People have mentioned that they were glad there wasn't like a romance in the movie. There was a slight hint at one with one character, I'm not going to say who, and one of the wives. And that was okay with me. I really was glad, though, they didn't make Max and Charlize Theron's character, you know, hit it off and start kissing or something in the middle of the film, because that really wouldn't have added anything. And it was so dreary, not dreary, but like, you're in the post-apocalypse. I think one of the last things on your mind, I mean, don't get me wrong, you probably do want the love and affection of a woman and to have something nice out of all of this shit around you, but you're running away from Immortan Joe and his, like, military. I doubt you really are going to think, let's stop on the side of the road and make out for a while. It just ain't going to happen. So, one of the things I really loved about the movie was it was really high intense. From the frigging minute the movie opens up until the end of the movie, it doesn't stop. It's an edge-of-your-seat kind of film. At one point, I turned around to... What is this guy doing? Oh, fuck me. At one point, I turned around to Beth, and I said, I really want to get up and get more water, but I'm enjoying this movie so much. Would you mind getting up and getting me water? And she goes, no. And she goes out there, and she had to, like, brute force the top of my container open, because I guess it was, like, stuck on. So she very very, sweetly got me my water, and I was able to sit there and watch people get, like, decapitated and stuff. Because that's what's important in life, of course. So, wow, people are really driving bad today. So anyhow, a lot of people on the internet are making a really big stink about it being almost like a pro-feminist film. Because, and this is the part about the film that actually annoyed me the most, I like Charlize Theron. I like her Imperator Furiosa character. The movie was great. However, Max, Tom Hardy, for those who know him from Bronson or Rock'n'Rolla, he was also Bane in the newest Batman series movies. He hardly speaks. Now, I think they were going for like a broken down shell of a man, kind of war-torn. If you know the Mad Max universe, he used to be a police officer. In the first movie, his baby and wife are killed, to which in the second movie, he's like, they say it at the beginning, he's a shell of a man in The Road Warrior, and he just seems sad. He seems like he's almost lost his humanity. In this, he doesn't seem that. He has like flashbacks of his, instead of it being his son, and this one it's a daughter that he loses, but he has like flashbacks and little like spurts you'll see throughout the film of like a kid getting run over and stuff like that. It's not like a huge part of the movie by any means, but it's supposed to show you he lost something special to him and now he's, a changed man. He kind of has like a PTSD thing going on. He has these like flashes, he gets all like worked up and fucked up, but he doesn't seem strong, and he's just not the main character. The main character is Charlize Theron, which I found kind of interesting because I went to see, a Mel Gibson type character who's like the main role, and Tom Hardy was definitely not. The other thing Tom Hardy did I didn't like was he does this kind of weird, like, twitching. Like, he kind of, like, breaks in between his speech and kind of, like, does this thing with his neck. I vaguely remember him doing it in Bronson. I don't remember if he did it as Bane, but I know as Bronson. Bronson's a very weird, character, or it's a real person, so it's really not a character, but character to play, and he's a weirdo. So in that movie, it made more sense of him being this like awkward kind of outcast type figure. But in this, he kind of comes off like that, and I was sort of like, why isn't he a little more strong? He was a little too weird and awkward for me in this movie. He didn't seem powerful enough, but he was pretty good. So anyhow, they had hired this like famous feminist to help with the female leads. I guess primarily Charlize Theron, I would assume. This woman had written or did those things in this HBO specials or whatever, the vagina monologues. I don't know her name. I don't know what the fuck it is. I just remember when I was a kid seeing the word vagina in an HBO special. You change the channel, you get all excited, and then you go, oh wait a minute, it's some old woman on a stage. So that was kind of unsettling. But they hired her to give insight as to what a strong female role would be. I don't really have a problem with that, and I didn't look at it as any kind of like feminist propaganda being shoved in my face. Honestly, and to be completely blunt, I don't get feminism. I'm not really a fan of it. And this is just delving into my personal opinion now. And this didn't rub me wrong like that. I think, everyone's strong and can be their own person. I think there are definitely gender inequalities, if you will, whether it be men being stronger or whatnot, and women having usually a little bit more of a head on their shoulders, but it really depends on the person, too. I'm sure Ronda Rousey, hearing me say that, might disagree. So, either or, I'm not really looking to pass my personal opinion too much in this, but I'm one that I actually like certain gender roles. I think there are certain things, certain things that a woman does for a man or a man does for a woman that can come off as very sweet and, taking care of that person. So I'm not big on feminism. So anyway, point being, I didn't feel any of that weird rub that I felt with Elysium. If you saw Elysium, I think that's the name of the movie. It was the same guy who did, oh geez, it's going to escape me. He did that recent movie with the robot and the people from Die Antwoord, and it was that South African movie with the guy whose hand gets cut off with the alien hand. whatever. I didn't like the movie at all. I can't think of the name, but people love it. I didn't like it. It was like a sci-fi film in South Africa. Anyway, he did Elysium, and in Elysium, I'm really going off topic now. He puts it that the white rich people live up in space or in like the spacecraft, and down below in like this impoverished area are all the immigrants and the, you know, people who aren't white, blah blah blah. And he tried to make this whole big point of like, you know, like the white people are keeping everyone down. Some people say it blew up in his face because it was kind of more like, why are these people from other nationalities, blacks, Hispanics, and whatnot, not able to be as smart or fend for themselves, that they have to all live in this weird, like, ghetto? Why are they not rising out of it? Are you trying to say people are not smart enough to do so? So there was that. But in Mad Max, I didn't feel anything weird like that. Like when I saw Elysium, I was like, ugh. But, you know, I knew they were trying to get some kind of political statement across. Where with this, I didn't feel that. So, personally, all the people that say, oh, it's a feminist film, I don't get it. I didn't feel that way. There's one part of the movie where Charlize Theron has a sniper rifle and they have 2 shots left, and Max misses the first one and she grabs the rifle from him. Some people are better shots. Some people have better eyesight. She's supposed to be this, you know, you don't know his past. I mean, you know he's a police officer, or was. Police officers usually don't use sniper rifles. She was some like high-end warlord, fucking right-hand man, woman, who probably did. That would explain it. It has nothing to me, it had nothing to do with her, like, you know, female power. But okay, she's a strong female lead. So is Lara Croft. I mean, I don't, well, Laura Croft, whatever you want to call her. I don't see the problem, but whatever. The movie doesn't stop. It's like, and it's a little long, but long in a good way. It gets to a point where you think there's a resolve, and then they go, oh wait, we're going to go do this now. And the whole movie goes back, and you're like, wow, that was cool. So it like really, it always keeps you on the edge of your seat. I did like most of the characters. As I said, I think Tom Hardy was underdeveloped, and I didn't like his acting completely in it, but I do like him overall. I've seen him in other films, and I like his acting. There are some nods to the old films. There is, let's see here, there's a little music box from The Road Warrior. I think there was a line that was not verbatim, but close to one from The Road Warrior, where she's like, you people want to get out of here, you come talk to me. Some sort of semblance of that. What else? You know, the V8 Interceptor makes an appearance. There's a skull with like a weird helmet on, that's on like a pike, and supposedly, and it looks like it's supposed to represent the pilot from The Road Warrior with that like mask with the goggles. So that was kind of cool that they did a little nod for that. There's quite a few, like, you know, he has his signature leather jacket with the arm cut off, the sleeve cut off. So it definitely has a little tiny bit of fan service for those who enjoyed the other 3 films. It's great. I would wholeheartedly recommend it. They just said they're looking to do 3 more films. I'm not sure how far they're going to stretch this thing. I mean, the great thing about this is there's no cliffhanger or no, like, what are they called, second movie bait? Where, like, they give you, like, a cliffhanger ending and then they go, oh, well, come see the second film now, fuck you. That's not there. There's actually an ending. So that was really cool. I really liked it. All my friends liked it. Beth thought it was pretty good. She labels these boy movies because there's so much action. So she likes them, but she doesn't, like, love them. What else? I think it hands down is one of the better movies I've seen in the past few years. I like John Wick a lot. I do not like really any of the superhero movies. I love sci-fi. I like post-apocalyptic. And this really served that up. I mean, if you want just on the edge of your seat action, cool characters, really cool cinema, the cinematics is excellent, the set design, the music, the crazy kind of atmosphere, beautiful landscape, even though it's supposed to be desolate because it's the desert, really interesting looking cars with different like parts and stuff, like from different cars, like Frankenstein together. Check out Mad Max Fury Road. I can't recommend it more. I prefer Mel Gibson, and I prefer Lord Humongous, but I definitely think that this movie was where it was at. So, thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.